Hey guys, MisterTNA here with a brand new video for you. First video that I've done in around 2 months now. I've got 2 weeks off from studies, so I decided that I was going to do a bit of work in the 2 weeks, but also do a couple of things for enjoyment. One of those things is making videos, so I decided that I have a new idea and I may as well publish it and post it on YouTube and other websites, so it gets out there in the world of the internet wrestling community. Today's video is really about the X Division, but it's also intertwined with defining the championships in TNA, more specifically the male championships in TNA. I had a thought around a week ago about the X Division. I was watching some stuff on YouTube. I had a bit of spare time, so I went on YouTube and I was looking at some old X Division matches. And something just popped into my head, and I started thinking about it. And it was really about where the X Division is placed in TNA. You know, it's more of a opener / mid card belt, and it really shouldn't be. Just take into account the fact that the similarities that the X Division Championship has with the World Heavyweight Championship. Both are competed by males, both competed by singles wrestlers, and both, more so the X Division, have a weight division. You know, regardless of what you want to say, well, people that are like 210 pounds can win the Heavyweight Championship, it's still called the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, people have been talking about Austin Aries dropping the X Division Championship and getting a push to the Heavyweight Division. And I kind of looked at it as, well, why does Aries need to be pushed, in inverted commas? Because he's already a world champion. You know, some people don't like the X Division because, it's filled with spot monkeys and stuff and nobody has any personality. But it's hard to deny that Austin Aries doesn't have personality, because he's one of the most entertaining characters on TNA television right now. And also Z Marion, another X Division wrestler that has personality. Not as much as Austin Aries, but he's proving a lot of things to a lot of people in a very short amount of time. Now, the X Division Championship and the X Division within itself, for a long time it's been more of a, he's going to go and drop down to the X Division, or he's going up to the Heavyweight Division, or he's going up to Tag Team Wrestling, or up to the television title, well, when it was kind of meant something, around late 2010, when AJ Styles had it, and then Doug Williams. But anyway, the X Division has kind of been overlooked. And when I say kinda, I mean it's been overlooked ridiculously. The X Division is the only other division that has the same amount of credentials as the Heavyweight Division. And I think that TNA, to be really smart, they could, and I think they should, put the X Division on par with the Heavyweight Division. And what I mean is, some form of angle with Austin Aries would be the best pick. You know, have him come out, talk about how he's gone through all the competition, he's impressed everybody in Impact Wrestling and fans around the world, but yet his X Division Championship reign is just being seen as a stepping stone to being in the Heavyweight Division, when really the X Division Championship means as much as the Heavyweight title. I mean, you know, like, say, people like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Jeff Hardy even, who are guys that wrestled in the X Division or wrestled the X Division style, but decided to leave to go to the Heavyweight Division because that's where they thought, where they get all the great matches, where they get all the money, the fame and everything, and leave behind the X Division And then when people ask them about the X Division, they say that they love it and they wish they could still wrestle in it. When really they've just abandoned it for the heavyweight division because they don't respect the X Division and think it's a big division. Then you should have Austin Aries, talk about how the X Division deserves a push and deserves for both its weight limit and the heavyweight weight limit to be reinforced. So what I mean by that is, say, okay, here's your main eventers. Here's all your entire roster. All your entire male roster. This group of guys are 225 pounds or under. Their top prize can be the X Division Championship. Then you've got all these guys here who are over 225 pounds. Their top prize can be the Heavyweight Championship. And then this is when, really, TNA could add 2 World Championships, but make them mean something. This wouldn't be having 2 World Championships that have a slightly different name, but are still competed for by the same people and have no difference between them. This would be having 2 World Championships and recognizing, okay, this is the heavyweight division, this is the heavyweight title, this is the X Division, this is the X Division title. These 2 are the biggest prizes in the world. These guys here, who are heavyweights, will compete for the heavyweight title. And these guys here, that fit in the X Division bracket, will compete for the X Division title. And it would just be really just definition to the X Division. When they put the weight limit on the X Division last year, I was skeptical of the decision because I thought, well, maybe this could be good, or this is just going completely on what the X Division was built on, having no weight limits. But looking at it now, this could be a brilliant thing for TNA. Imagine if Hulk Hogan came out, because now he is the general manager, and said, we're going to define these belts. We're going to give these belts meaning. We're going to make every single thing that is involved in what these championships are called mean something. We're going to put the heavyweight back in the World Heavyweight Championship. We're going to put the X Division wrestlers that are 225 pounds or less in the X Division competing for the X Division Championship. If he come out and said, from now on, you're 225 pounds or over, you want to be the top dog, you want to be a world champion, you're going to compete for the heavyweight title. If you're 225 pounds or under, then you are going to be in the X Division. Your top prize is going to be the X Division Championship. And then have him highlight the fact that AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Jeff Hardy, just 3 people, for example, that are under 225 pounds and fit into that X Division bracket. Imagine having a division where you have Austin Aries, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Christopher Daniels, add a couple of names like maybe the Pope, if he came back and got some form of push, he's under 225. Maybe Rob Van Dam. I have looked at RVD and apparently he's billed at 235 pounds, which I'm kind of skeptical about, but regardless, just add these X Division talents and make the X Division what it really should be, which is one of the top draws. People are going to be skeptical about this idea because a lot of people don't like the X Division. Oh, it's just filled with a bunch of spot monkeys. They have no charisma, they have no talent. Well, the thing is, you do that with a division, you're going to have someone like Austin Aries, who has charisma, who has mic skills, that has an all-around package that people can really connect to and really will take notice of and can't dismiss him as being a top guy. You have the same thing with Christopher Daniels. You have this with AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy. Both guys, they're not the best on the mic, but when they have cut some pretty good promos in the past, and the connection with the fans is absolutely amazing, especially with Jeff Hardy. For a guy to do some of the stuff in the past that he's done and then still get the reaction he does at most TNA events is unreal. Then you have guys like Kazarian, who was a heel, is the very entertaining heel. The same thing with Zema Ion. I mean, he is really doing some good work right now in his role as being effing pretty and pretty effing dangerous, as he likes to say. Then when you look at the heavyweight division, you'd have James Storm, Bobby Roode, Bully Ray, Mr. Anderson, Matt Morgan, Crimson, and then if and when they do disband, Samoa Joe and Magnus. I mean, that's a pretty strong heavyweight division, even though you've just taken out two of its top players and taken out a guy that would have been put in as another top player in Austin Aries. The fact is that you do that with the X division, you put these guys into the division that already have a fan connection, that already have respect throughout the business, and you're going to add just a higher level of prestige to the division. I mean, if what I'm suggesting is happening right now, I pay a lot of attention to the X division, but I'm sure a lot of other people would pay attention to the X division. You know, I've seen and I've heard things. You know, people have said, yeah, Austin Aries is the champion, but he's the only good thing about the X division. Zema Ryan's okay, but apart from them two, where do you go with the X division? You don't really go very far. You know, so it's pretty good move, I think, business-wise, because you take into account the fact that the World Heavyweight Championship replica belt is the highest selling belt. You know, if you had said, okay, it's the top prize, but the X division is also the top prize, you know, they're on par with each other, and there is difference between the two. They are on par, they are the two top prizes in the business. People are probably going to start buying the X Division Championship well, because they're going to care more about the X Division than they ever have before. Because the heavyweight division, your big title is always the centerpiece of your show. People can tune in, they might not care about the knockouts, might not care about the X Division, they might not care about the tag team division. But when they see the heavyweight, they will care. When they see a heavyweight come out, or the heavyweight champion or a contender, they will probably care. Because the heavyweight match is the big match. It's with the big stars, the all-around packages, if you will. They're the people that mainly get people to buy pay-per-views. They are the people that mainly get people to tune in to Impact Wrestling each and every week. You do that with the X Division, you've got a completely different thing that draws in its own form of fashion, and you're now adding that, and you're adding another crown jewel to the organization. That's good for business. Not only is that good for business, but when you have heavyweight contenders, their merchandise sales will go up because they are a main feature. Now you'll be doing exactly the same with the X division, and you're also giving more guys an opportunity to get a push, to get over. You know, you're giving guys like Matt Morgan and Crimson, Joe and Magnus in the future, you know, Kazarian, Daniels, Zema Ryan. You're giving them you're giving them a bigger stage to compete on, and a bigger opportunity to get over, to sell merchandise, to sell tickets, and just to do their thing, but become a big star. And that's one thing that I really do think that the X Division being pushed to the main event level will benefit TNA in almost every aspect. Viewership, well, maybe not your viewership, but over time, people are probably going to start connecting to the X Division. Merchandise sales, ticket sales, and you just know an all-around care for the product that they're putting out there. So that is really the main idea concerning the X Division and really defining the weight divisions and the championships. But also going into the television championship, because doing that would be a complete shake-up of how you book the roster. But with the mid-card, not so much. You may lose a couple of guys that would work around the TV title to go be one of the top heavyweights, you know, to get themselves over, to build themselves up more, and the same thing with the X Division. But you probably get a couple of new additions from the X Division at least, you know, Kid Cash, Anthony Nese, Mark Haskins, if, you know, he ever appears on television. And quite honestly, I would first of all, if you're going to emphasize the fact that being a world champion means you're the best, and you're defining a difference between having 2 world titles, you have to get rid of the World Television Championship, because there's nothing that makes that different from the Heavyweight Championship. You know, both belts appear on television, both people are apparently world champions. There's no real difference. So I'd get rid of the Television Championship. I would then introduce either a United States or a European Championship. You know, more of a continent championship instead of a world title. You know, I'd probably take the theory of, you know, how they do things in boxing, for example. You know, where you have national champions, then continent champions, and then world champions. And after you win those national and continent belts, you will get an opportunity at the World Championship. So I'd introduce European or United States Championship, have people in the mid-card feud over those belts, build themselves up by doing so, give themselves more of an appeal to fans, give themselves some time to show fans that they deserve to be the top X Division wrestler or the top heavyweight wrestler, and then eventually let them go on to being one of the top guys in either the X Division or the heavyweight division. So really the booking style of the mid-card would not change, but now being the European and United States champion would make more sense, that you have prestige by being a champion, but you are not one of the top guys because you are not a world champion. So that's basically it for now. Thank you very much for listening. Please make sure, if you like the video, click the like button. If you want to share this with the world, make sure that you click the share button. Put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, put it on Tumblr, wherever you want to go. Put it on your website if you want. If anyone wants to do so, you know, this is made specifically for TNAasylum.com. But if anybody likes the idea, wants to share it, by all means, put it on your website. Let people know, get people behind the idea if they like the idea as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Follow me on Twitter at MisterTNA. Give me feedback on Twitter. Give me feedback in the comment section below wherever you're watching this video. Thank you very much once again for listening to the video. Not sure if this is the first of a continuous set of videos I'm going to be doing, or this is just a one-off for now. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. And hopefully you will be hearing my beautiful British voice very soon. Thank you very much.